Village. Start your adventure at discoverjamestownnd.com.
The Rusty Cage Bar and Grill in Valley City is now open. Open daily at 4 Tuesday through Saturday and perfectly, if not conveniently, located in downtown Valley City. With an old school bartending style and a drink menu to match, serving appetizers and entrees. That's the Rusty Cage Bar and Grill in Valley City. Like them on Facebook.
It's 8:20. KDAK weather right now, made possible by Bank Forward of Carrington.
We're getting ready for our Banktoberfest, our annual customer appreciation event at Bank Forward in Carrington. Hi, I'm Scott Tweed, inviting you to our customer appreciation lunch on Wednesday, September 3rd from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. We'll have a prize drawing for adults and kids on Friday, September 5th at 4 p.m. No purchase is necessary and you need not be present to win. It's Banktoberfest at Carrington's Bank Forward, where we appreciate our customers every day. Thank you for your business. Please join us for lunch on the 3rd at Bank Forward, 484 Main Street in Carrington. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Okay, let's check it out. The weather report for Carrington, New Rockford, and surrounding areas from your North Dakota Weather Authority. Early this morning, mostly clear with south winds around 5 miles an hour. Now today, sunny, highs around 80. And east winds around 5 to 15. Tonight, partly cloudy. There is a slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms this evening. Then becoming mostly cloudy with a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Some may be severe with damaging winds and large hail this evening. Lows of 55. East winds around 5 to 10. And a chance of precip for this evening and tonight, 40%. For tomorrow, partly sunny and breezy and cooler. Cooler conditions expected for tomorrow with highs of only 65. And north winds around 15 to 25 Thursday night and Friday now. Mostly clear. Lows, well, we'll see lower 40s for lows and highs in the lower 70s for highs on Friday. And west winds around 5 to 15. The weekend, we'll see highs in the mid-70s. Should be relatively dry, though, for the weekend. Radar right now for North Dakota shows some activity in the northern area and north. Slowly moving north-northeast. Just a very, very light shower right now. Currently in Carrington, our temp is 52. Mostly clear right now. Winds are light. And the pressure reads 29.72. And today's forecast to be warmer than yesterday. Yesterday we got about 75. Today we should see about 80. And you can find more weather 24 hours a day on our website of newsdakota.com.
24/7 information at your fingertips. Log on to newsdakota.com. It's time once again for Here's What's Happening in Carrington, New Rockford, and surrounding areas on KDAK. Today's segment is brought to you by
Hair and Nail Designs of Carrington. See the gals for all your hair, nail, and skin needs. They're located at 94 9th Avenue South across from Carrington Dental Care. Give them a call today, 701-652-3200 for an appointment. That's Hair and Nail Designs of Carrington. Joining us this morning on KDAK live in the studios for our Here's What's Happening segment, the special guest from the Foster County Soil Conservation District. We have Joel Lemur, Foster County Extension Agent. Joel, good.
Greg.
And how's your Wednesday going so far?
So far, so good. It's a nice and sunny morning.
Yeah, beautiful morning out there right now. And also we got Dion Schaff joining us here this morning, District Manager for the Foster County Soil Conservation District. Good morning, Dion.
Good morning.
And how is your Wednesday going?
Oh, it's going.
It's going? So slowly, right? It's gotta go. Yeah. All right, well, sounds good. Well, Joel, let's start with you this morning. Thanks for joining us, you guys, again here in the KDAK studios. We're going to talk a little bit more about Eco Ed Day. So what is that, and when is that going to be taking place?
Actually, I'll let Dion talk about that. That's more of hers.
Okay.
Actually, we're doing that next Wednesday.
Okay.
So that's for all the sixth graders in Foster County, both the Carrington and the Mid-Dakota schools.
Okay.
We all meet up out at Juanita Lake Park, and they go through sessions. They learn about soils and erosion, rangelands, woodlands, wetlands and wildlife. The folks from AIR would come up for that. Watersheds, and Joel here and Kurt Klein from our board do the agronomy session, teaching them about North Dakota crops.
Okay.
And then we have a special speaker in for the afternoon talking about pollution and wetlands. So,
Okay.
And basically it's a chance for the to learn and do some hands-on stuff, and hopefully we think that they remember better when they're actually out working with the things than if they're just looking at it in a book.
Right. Yeah. More hands-on experience, the better.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Yes.
And then upcoming events too. Dion, did you want to talk about that, or Joel?
Well, why don't Joel? Why don't you start with the range tour, because that's the one that's coming up first.
Okay, thanks, Dion. Our third annual range tour. We started this. This will be our third year. We've tried to put together a range tour. And this is a cooperative effort between offices plus our Soil Conservation District offices and our NRCS offices in the two counties. This year's tour will be out at Spickler South Ranch. It's Nathan Spickler's and his family's operation, which is used to be the Lindstrom Ranch right along the Highway 200 as we go east of Carrington. We're scheduled for Thursday, September 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. Our guest speaker for the evening will be Dr. Kevin Sedvick. He's an NDSU Extension Range Management Specialist. He's kind of our range management guru in the state of North Dakota. He's going to be one of our speakers at the program. As far as the program is concerned, the things that we want to cover, we're going to talk about cover crops for fall grazing, the use of cover crops such as turnips and beets and so forth to provide fall grazing for livestock that our livestock producers can use as an option. Something a little bit new that we're starting to see some of our producers explore is the use of annual forages such as rye and annual ryegrass to produce several cuttings of forage throughout the growing season. Instead of getting one crop, we're talking about getting 2 or potentially even 3 crops, either for forage production or for grazing purposes. We're going to spend a little bit of time on water systems, using rural water as a source for water for livestock. A lot of people don't realize that the rural water system is available to them and can actually be used for a water source for their livestock operations. Something that's new that we're hearing a lot of interest about is mob grazing. Not a lot of that information available on that in this part of the state. Dr. Kevin Sedvick is going to concentrate on the mob grazing aspect of livestock production. We're going to do a little bit of work with range plant identification, work with our producers and try to have common range plants and a little bit of the significance of those range plants that they see out there in that rangeland as to what those range plants can actually tell them. We provide a free evening meal. We're going to do burgers and so forth with all the fixings and toppings and some salads and chips and so forth. We're meeting at the Spickler South Ranch, as it's called, 14.5 miles east of Carrington. We hope to run the program from 5 to 7, eat about 7:15, somewhere in there, and have a nice, hopefully for a nice evening like we had the last couple of years. Tour is open to the general public. There's no registration required. There's no cost for the meal. It's as wide open to anybody that's interested.
So all ranchers encouraged to attend, right?
Anybody involved with livestock and ranchers, livestock, beef, cattle producers, and so forth, or anyone that works with those people are sure invited to attend.
Kind of interesting, just going back to the water systems, using rural water. You don't necessarily have to have your own well. You can be supplied with a rural water system then, right?
And it's surprising, there are a lot of rural water lines out there.
Okay.
And if you have, if you're within reasonable distance of those rural water lines, they're available to you.
Okay.
Of course, there's a cost, but
right. Yep.
the Spicklers are actually using rural water as one of their sources of water for their livestock, and it's actually pretty reasonable cost-wise, or so they feel.
Okay.
Especially to have a good quality source of clean water at all times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, sounds good. So that's September 11th. So basically, next Thursday at 5 o'clock. Just show up probably about 5 o'clock or a little bit before or so, somewhere around there.
So that would do it.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see, Dion, did you want to talk about the other upcoming event then, or?
Yes, there is another workshop planned for later in September. The date's still a little tentative, but at this point we're talking probably Friday, September 26th.
Okay.
And that's going to be a morning workshop, probably starting about 8:30 in the morning. And what this is it's going to be a soil health workshop. Paul DeBort is going to bring in the rainfall simulator and let you see a comparison of the effects of different land uses on rainfall runoff and infiltration and erosion. So it's really an interesting machine to watch it operating and see what comes off. And then we're going to have a speaker come in. I don't believe that's been settled yet, but we're going to be talking about how to understand your own soils, looking at soil profiles. Jerry's going to dig us a couple of pits so people can go down and look at the different layers. Paul, I think, or someone is going to be talking about a new type of soil test called the Haney soil test and the advantages of that. And then we're also going to demonstrate some of the tests that a person can do on their own, just to look at different aspects and see what those show about their soil health. Things that they don't need to send in, they can just do it themselves, or ask the local NRCS office to come out and do it for them if they don't want to do it.
Okay.
And it's just going to be, like I said, a morning thing. We'll do coffee and rolls, and everybody's welcome. Again, it's free of charge. So this is probably going to be on September 26th.
Okay, sounds good. And then the farm, that's around Carrington here, I guess. Address and stuff?
Jerry Becker is north and just a little east of town.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So he's about, 7 miles out?
Okay. All right, sounds good. That's Friday, September 26th then, Soil Health Workshop. All right, sounds good. Tree planting.
I just wanted to remind folks that if there's any chance you might need some replacement trees, to please go out and take a look and get a count before the leaves come off so they know how many they need. It's really hard to try and count dead trees when all the leaves are gone. And also just to, if they're thinking about planting trees next spring, they need to start thinking about that, coming in and talk to us, because of course the preparation needs to be started this fall. And if at all possible, I like to get out there and take a look at the site before the snow and see what we're working with, and try to get the best planting that we can for them. Also, there is still one of our the Forest Service Assistance Program. That would be for smaller plantings mostly, but that is still available if you're going to apply for that. The applications need to be in early November, including the tree plan. There's also, you can still do applications through the NRCS and FSA programs. So just a reminder to start thinking about that if anybody's been considering it for next spring. Okay,
yeah, you and me were talking yesterday about the tree. Some trees just they don't take to the soil, or they they don't get the correct amount of water, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, not enough water is a bad one. If they don't get planted quite right. I was talking about how when we want the soil prepped, we want it so that it's not clumpy, because what happens then is the roots wind up in an air pocket, and that kills the roots because they need air, but they also need contact with the soil and water. And on the other hand, we also don't want it worked to the point where it's all fluffy, because then there's no soil structure, and you kind of get the same effect going the other way. Just not good for the roots that way either. So, not to mention being really hard to work with. So either way, you don't want to have it underworked, you don't want to have it overworked. You need it at that just right, that Goldilocks stage.
Yep. All right, sounds good. Thanks, Dion. Joel, did you have anything else this morning that you'd wanted to add in there at all, or?
Whatever you can do, Greg, to get us some sunny, warm weather so we can finally get the small grain harvest done.
I know, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hear the harvest is going, but it's they're harvesting it kind of wet, right?
It's really challenging. It's the dew is so heavy in the morning, you can't get started very early in the morning, and by this time of year, the days are getting pretty short. So by 7 o'clock in the evening, it's already getting tough. So it's gotten to be a very short harvest day. But every time we get a little shower, it sets us back another day or two. We're already in September.
I know.
So these guys are really getting a little upset with the process, but we're harvesting grain. It's a little on, a lot of it's a little bit on the wet side, but you just don't have any choice anymore. You just have to get it harvested.
Yeah, most farmers taking it straight, I'm sure. Then
as many as possible. Yeah, and the thing that's probably a little more frustrating for them, the crop is out there. The initial yields that we're hearing are really good. Some questions on some quality concerns, but it's out there. It's just a matter of getting it in.
Are the fields that's not an issue right now where they're too wet to combine? It's wet right
right
now,
exactly. The grain itself is not drying down. For some reason in North Dakota we haven't seen a lot of wind like we're used to the last couple months. We were normally used to that 10-15 miles an hour every day, and even these last couple evenings, about 6 o'clock, all of a sudden the wind just totally dies.
Right, yeah.
And then you wake up in the morning because it's slopping wet from all the humidity and the dew. And it takes till noon, 1 o'clock before we start getting a little breeze, start drying things off. So it's really been challenging for them.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, we hope for sunshine and wind, a little bit of wind.
A little
too.
bit of both would be great.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Dion, anything else this morning?
Just remember, September 11th for the range tour.
Okay. All right, and just show up to that, right? September 11th at about 5 o'clock at the
5
Spickler
o'clock.
Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for coming in. We were talking this morning with Joel Lemur, Foster County Extension Agent, and also Dion Schaff with the Foster County Soil Conservation District. Dion is the District Manager.
That concludes our Here's What's Happening in Carrington, New Rockford, and surrounding area. Heard at 9:20 Monday through Thursday and 8:20 on Fridays, right here on Dakota Country Radio and NewsDakota.com. Please call 652-3151 if you're interested in being on Here's What's Happening.
This is Dakota Sports Network. I'm Steve Carlson. The Minnesota Lynx run in the WNBA playoffs is over. They lost at Phoenix 96-78 last night.